Representing the men and women on sporting fields across the globe, and especially in Port Adelaide and deep South Australia. Two blokes leading the charge that it's okay to be a little bit crap as long as you try hard. It's now time for another Best Team Men podcast.
Lockdown podcast. We are here. Best Team Men. It doesn't matter what round it is, because you know what? We don't know when we are going to be back in Ozcast Network studios. We can have an extended podcast today. There's a fair bit going on. Matty Burgess, coming up on the podcast, we are going to cover absolutely everything. Serious stuff, fun stuff, and how at Fresh Till Death networked a whole television station around the country like the mad dog that he is.
Oh, yeah.
Welcome.
Thank you, mate. Appreciate that.
You need to lift, mate. We're going to try and be positive. No, we are.
You're
right.
Fun here, You're right. Okay? You're right. No, that is the mood, and we're going to have a bit of fun and try and bring a smile to an otherwise bleak situation around the globe at the moment.
Yeah, we got to. I think it's our responsibility. This is what I've been trying to do over the past couple of weeks, and that is be positive, because I think people live their lives by comparison. Like, if you had a good day on the footy field, you're comparing yourself to someone who played shit. If you had a bad day, you're comparing yourself to someone who played good. Let's stop comparing how everybody else's situation is and go, how can we help out our mates? How can we help out our peers? This is the time we need to stick together and, really get around one another, because this is so unpredictable. No one knows what's going on.
No one knows what's going on. There's no time frame on it either, so there's no point, looking 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, 5 months in advance. It's all about living in the moment with your loved ones and your friends and just getting through it together, like you said. So,
well, I think we've said before that sometimes it takes bad stuff to happen for you to have a bit of perspective on your life. And this kind of pause moment where everybody's on pause, no matter what, people are losing their jobs, some of them permanently, other ones for a couple of months. It makes us step back and reflect on what's important and, what we're doing with our lives, because no one saw this coming.
No, there was no warning.
No.
It's literally never happened before in probably anyone that's alive's lifetime.
Yeah.
And we're learning as we go, basically. So,
how are you dealing with it personally?
Personally, yeah, look, my DJing career's been affected heavily. Obviously, all clubs were the first thing to go. And yeah, you can basically just shut your career down on that aspect. Yeah. The job for my parents is still very much going at the moment, so I still have work and I still have income. But again, a lot of that clientele is hospitality and that side of things, so there's going to be a massive drop-off in that over time as well. But for now, yeah, I'm okay financially and with a job and all that sort of stuff.
Do you think the venues will survive? There's a fair few of them that obviously won't. I've got this dream, and it may not be real, but I have this feeling that anticipation is something which is sold by everybody. And it sounds a bit wanky when I say it, but on a Wednesday, if you listen to commercials that are promoting 2-for-1 specials on a Friday or a beer or whatever, you get excited and you build up to that. So once we know when venues can open again, these venues will start building up anticipation, going like countdowns on to come back. So these venues which had people in there, people will rush back in because what they want to do is have a beer with their mates.
Yeah, they will. There's a lot that won't reopen.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's down to, the rent that they're going to have to continue to pay with no money coming in. It's going to be just easier for them to shut the doors, which is a shame. Yeah. Some of them are, South Australian institutions, so to speak. So the other thing, though, I think we need to be mindful of and not expect it to just go bang like that when things reopen, because we've got to understand that people haven't been working. They don't have a lot of money. While, yes, they want to come out and socially get around it and be around each other again, it might not be financially viable for them to straight away. Like, it could take, 2-3 months to build back into what it was.
Yeah.
But again, we don't know. It's just such an unknown at the moment. It depends how long this lasts for as well. If, within 6 weeks everything's back to normal, then we might not take as big a hit as we thought.
Yeah, exactly. But that's the thing. We just don't know. It's affecting sport. Now, this is kind of a sports podcast. It is, but we're not we're not hard hitting. We don't do deep analysis of games.
But let's look at, 2 weeks ago we sat here. With our last one, we obviously missed last week because the Ozcast Network went into lockdown and we couldn't get in here. But But 2 weeks ago, we spoke about the first cancellation of the NBA game.
Yeah, that's nuts, isn't it? We were here when it happened.
And you timestamped it.
Yeah.
And 2 weeks to the day, we've lost every sport in the world.
It feels like 2 years.
It does. It's the longest 2 weeks of my life.
Something happens every day. And I had a weird vibe watching the AFL with no fans. It just didn't feel right. And like it felt like a preseason game.
Yeah, it did. Yeah.
I didn't like watching it on TV. Listening to the radio I thought was okay. But it just shows you what energy fans bring to a game of footy.
They do, not just from a spectator point of view, but also the players feed off of it as well. You could tell it was a little bit token. Like there was no tackling. There was no, you know what I mean? And there was one part I watched. I did watch a lot of it because I've been so starved of footy. But I think it was the Richmond Carlton game, and Richmond blew it out early. Carlton came back, and there was a guy kicked a goal. I can't remember who it was. Nunes maybe kicked a goal to put him within 15 points in the last quarter. And I thought, with a crowd there, that almost gets Carlton right back in it.
Yeah.
But instead, there was nothing.
I thought that when Taylor Walker missed that goal against the Swans, I had a feeling like, look, it may be bullshit, who knows, but I reckon Walker kicks that if there's a crowd there.
Yeah. Yep.
I just feel like he's a big-time, big-moment player, and that was his time.
Yeah. I can see that, definitely.
Yeah, it's just so weird. And then, you know, we get back to if and when footy starts again, and we can talk about the staff cuts because obviously that's
huge,
full on.
Yeah.
When footy starts again, my opinion is unless crowds can go, don't start it.
Yeah. Well, now that they've had that sample, they know what it's like. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, it's weird. So 80% of all football staff are cut. I had a look on social media today. A lot of development coaches. Which can you explain? What's a development coach? What will they do?
They're the guys that'll work one-on-one with players at training on certain things and maybe through games. So almost a specialty coach. So they don't look after a line as such. They won't sit there and be a midfield coach or a forward coach, but they'll take first to 4 year defenders and work with them. Each day at training.
So
and all that stuff.
Are they a necessity?
Oh, probably not. I think I listened to Jared Waitley this morning, and he had 5 or 6 of the senior coaches on a group call, and I think Chris Scott said it. He said the thing that'll change the most is we're going to have fewer doing more work,
which is business now anyway.
That's right.
Like if you look at those photos of a coach's box,
there's 15, 16 of them in there.
Exactly. So I was listening to another podcast this morning and they were saying that maybe this is the opportunity to have a look at the AFL and go, okay, we're overstaffed anyway. We don't need this amount of staff. And obviously you've got big TV deals, big advertising. So they're going to hire staff because they've got the cash to do it. But what they'll find is once they go skeleton staff and once, games start happening again, they'll go, oh, we can actually function like this.
Without it. Yep. Absolutely. It wasn't that long ago that I think they were talking about doing it anyway.
I know. It's a weird thing with business, though, because you go, hold on a sec. If we're going to be stood down for 2 months and the business operates fully, they go, well, you're not required then.
No, that's right. There'd be a few nervous people. There'd be a lot of nervous people.
100%, mate. All the players are nervous as well. Obviously, the players have cracked the shits because they have to take a pay cut, which I saw Chad Wingard talk about it this morning. He said every player that's being interviewed from the AFLPA or just in general are the players that have been on $700,000 for the past 10 years.
Yeah, let's talk about the young fellas that,
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I spoke to a player last night who said the payments have stopped now for them. They got when they sign a new contract, that resets and starts in November last year, and now towards the end of March. So almost 6 months, and now the pay cut comes in. He can't afford to pay his rent.
Yeah. Yeah, so that puts him on, for lack of better words, it puts him on a level playing field with anyone else that just has a normal job. Yeah.
So I can understand the players feeling disappointed because their wages as part of the CBA, I think the more money that the AFL makes, the more slice of the old mate they get. But if the AFL's not making cash, then they've got to look at that the other way as well.
Yeah. Yeah. And Malcolm Blight, I said this morning, is there a Centrelink type scheme that the AFL can come up with where the players get X amount per week? Yeah. And whether that's $1,000 each a week or whatever it is, just to help them live. and get them through this little period.
No one's going to agree on it because you know what? People froth, and there's a particular type of personality that gets so excited when they see an AFL player get into trouble, when they cheat on their missus, when they go out drink driving, because they go, hold on, you're supposed to be bulletproof,
You're human.
You're human. That makes me more relatable to you. Awesome. And some people thrive off that stuff.
Yeah. Imagine going to Centrelink and seeing Patrick Dangerfield in the line behind you.
I know. It's weird. I also think if you are on 700, 800 grand a year...
Mate, 20%'s getting you through, don't worry.
Yeah, I think you're okay. So it's...
But like you said, it's the first to 2 or 3 year players,
Yeah.
you know, that are on 70, 80, 90, and plus their match payments, which they don't get now as well, which makes it very tough.
Exactly, because I think a lot of people don't understand that sometimes with these AFL contracts, they're not all on 450 grand a year. Some of them are on 80, but they get 4.5 grand a game that they play.
That's right.
So they're relying on those match payments that when they make it 17 games, so you minus straight away 5 games you lose, and then if you don't play again, then you're stuffed.
Which is 35 grand nearly.
It's exactly right. So I had a thought about the AFL, and then we should talk about social media. So when the AFL comes back, I'm hoping with fans.
And sooner rather than later.
Sooner rather than later. Hutchie suggested it on his Sounding Board podcast, which I listened to. I like. Damien Barrett shits me because he just sucks up James Brayshaw's ass, and which is fine. I like James Brayshaw a lot.
Yeah, James is good.
But also Damo just...
I think. Do you remember when the Triple M guys did their 360 feedback?
Yeah.
And Gary and James said it perfectly that he's got to drop his nerd mates because he's finally hanging with the cool kids.
Well, that's exactly right.
And that's what it sounds like.
Oh, man. He shits me though because he also says words incorrectly. So you know the word escapism. He says escapism, and they've got this segment on their podcast, and it's the question of the week thanks to social status, which is a business and a sponsor. He comes off the end of it and goes, yes, thanks to social status. So I tweeted them and I said, hey, do you reckon the client would be happy that Damo is saying the word incorrectly compared to what the client's referring to? Next episode, he said it right.
Did he?
So, yeah, I was a dick. Anyway, football comes back. This is what Hutchie suggested, and I really liked it. Get rid of the current fixture. And
Start
again. Manufacture the fixture to get the best crowds, and if it's the best cash for the AFL and the club's awesome. That means 2 showdowns.
Yep.
2 derbies or derbies.
Depends where you're from.
Exactly. 2 Essendon Collingwood, 2 Carlton Richmond. And I think he suggested to put it into different kind of categories or conferences. And like, so the Western Australian and the South Australian teams will be in one, whatever.
Almost like the NFL.
Exactly. Look, there are going to be some teams that get an advantage. If Brisbane play Gold Coast twice, you'd think there's 2 wins.
Of course.
But you know what? You get to finals, you still got to beat the best teams.
You have to be the best team to win the flag.
Yeah. So this is what I propose for round 2 of the AFL season. Now, pick me up if I'm wrong here because I'll probably stuff this up. So I'm thinking Thursday night we come back with Richmond Collingwood at the G.
Okay.
Now, that was supposed to be this one anyway.
It's supposed to be tonight. Yep.
Yeah, we'll get to your fixturing after this because you are an unbelievable human being with your influence on society. Friday night, Essendon Carlton at the G.
Yep.
Saturday, so during the day, Melbourne St Kilda at the G.
Yep.
Or Marvel.
Demons Saints.
Like maybe we go at Marvel.
I reckon we Marvel that one.
We'll go to Marvel. Right?
Give it a St Kilda home game.
Marvel. All right, so 7 people go to that. All right. Saturday twilight, we'll go to the SCG where the Swans play the Giants in the Battle of the Bridge.
Like it.
Saturday night, the showdown at Adelaide Oval, Port Adelaide Crows. Sunday, the early game, I think Brisbane and the Gold Coast at the Gabba.
Yep, the Q clash.
Yep. Sunday afternoon, the Hawks will play North Melbourne at the G.
Yep.
Sunday twilight will be West Coast Freo at Optus.
Yes.
And then Monday night, we have Geelong St Kilda at Marvel.
Okay, I like it.
I think the only teams that would probably have an issue would be Geelong St Kilda, Hawthorn, North Melbourne, Melbourne St Kilda. So they'd probably want to play better teams.
St Kilda have played 2 games in the round.
Yeah, that's true. Where did I stuff that up?
You had Melbourne St Kilda playing Saturday.
Which team don't I have? Go through the teams.
Hang on, let me get my little...
Adelaide, Brisbane, Carlton, Collingwood, Essendon, Freo, Geelong, Hawthorn, North Melbourne. How have I fucked this? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18 teams.
Have you got the Dogs in there?
No, that's where I stuffed up. It's Geelong Western Bulldogs at Marvel.
Right.
Yeah.
There we go.
Geelong Western Bulldogs at Marvel.
Okay.
God.
But apart from that, I like where you're going with
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
So talk to us about how you have influenced Fox Footy. This is amazing. Andy Martin from the Ozcast Network is here sitting here. Listen to this story, mate. This is unbelievable.
Yeah.
Well, there you
I
go.
won't tell the story then.
Go for it.
No, so Sunday afternoon, I was laying in bed quite hungover. And
Oh, yeah, because we FaceTime or we Instagram Live. You were real
yeah,
hung.
I was crook, yeah. And I was watching, what game was it? I think it was the Brisbane Hawthorn game at the MCG, and then half-time came on, and Gill came on, and that's when they announced the suspension of the rest of the season, or, indefinite suspension of the season. And I was thinking, which is strange, I don't think a lot when I'm hungover, but...
Just in general.
Yeah, And I was thinking, well, obviously there's going to be no footy now. There's no games. There's no live games. What would I like to watch instead of? And so I thought, well, those slots are going to be empty, basically, because they would have planned, they would have seen the draw when it came out, and the TV channels and stations would have gone, okay, well, we're doing this game, blah, blah, blah. So nothing gets scheduled into those for months. Yeah. And then just like that, they're gone. There are no games. So I thought, what would I like to watch in those times instead of? And I revolved my life around watching footy in those times.
That's how we met and fell in love.
That's right. So I thought, what would be good? Let's keep the fixture, but instead of the live games between those two teams, let's show those two teams' best games. So Thursday night, tonight, let's show one of the best Richmond-Collingwood games. And then Friday night, so on and so forth for the whole round. And let's just do that until footy's back. Because they're going to be good games of footy. So even if I don't support those teams, I'm still going to want to watch them. I'm going to be enthralled by those games of footy because they're going to be close, or they're going to be, Lloyd kicks 10 and Carey kicks 11 and North play, Essendon and all that sort of stuff.
Game.
Yeah, exactly. So, there could be, finals in there that we'd forgotten about, or, some, like, for lack of... Sorry about this one, but, the first time Gold Coast won, they beat Port. That was obviously going to be...
at that game?
Yeah, I was there too. So that's obviously going to be there,
Horrific.
Yeah, so it just got me thinking what would be good and what I would like to watch. And I know Fox Footy show a lot of old games as it is, but let's give it some structure.
So then Cam Ellis-Yeoman from the Crows got involved.
Yes.
I'm from Brisbane now. He used to be at the Crows. And he tweeted it. And it went nuts.
Went berserk. Yeah, it went ridiculously big. And then I got an inbox request on my Facebook from a young fella named Tim who works at Fox Footy.
Yeah, that's a big surname.
Yeah, I didn't say his
What's
last
your name, Matt Burgess? G'day, I'm Tim who works at Fox Footy. That's Scottish.
Anyway, yeah, Tim who works at Fox sent me an inbox saying, hey, mate, great idea. I'm going to take it to the head honchos at Fox Footy. And
so he took it to Jared Waitley.
Robbo. So he obviously did that. And then he sent me another message back the following night saying, looks promising.
Yeah.
And then you text me saying, you've done it. So
I was on air at the time.
Right.
And I saw Fox tweet it. And I'm like, first of all, give him some credit. And second of all, you've done it, mate.
Yeah.
You are a mover and a shaker.
So they've run with the idea, which is great because now I get to watch, some good games of footy.
And the funny thing is, there are so many podcasts that are trying to be credible and breaking news, and we have more credibility than all these. We don't do that.
No.
But you're the one that influenced Fox Footy.
And I read the article, and they're talking about all these new sub programs that they've got going on. And I was like, give me a run on one of those.
Yeah, I know you should get on there.
God, video link it or something to my house.
So
send
what
a camera
would you wear
crew out.
if Fox Footy and Tim, who works at Fox Footy, whatever his surname is, said to you, mate, we want to get you on a video link.
Yeah.
Are you going to wear what you're wearing now?
No, I'd probably dress up a little bit.
What would you wear? Are you talking like bow tie?
No, I'd wear a nice Ralphie probably.
Yeah.
Button up. They wouldn't see me
Did
from
you
the
see
waist.
John Ralph on Friday Night Footy?
He spray painted on
It was
suit.
painted on, which makes because he's got a massive head.
Does,
and he's got this weird line in between his eyebrow. He's so happy with himself.
Who's
John.
got the biggest head, him or Hutto? Comparative. Hutto's only a little
Hutto's
man.
got a small body but a big head.
Yeah.
Ralphie has massive teeth as well.
Right.
Like he's just all of his head area is big. Can we get sued for that? Okay, so let's talk about social media. Then we want to get Andy on. So, Andy, get your mic all ready to go, mate. We want to get you on to talk about what Ozcast Network and Podvertising is doing during this lockdown period. So we think it's really important. Is that all right with you?
Can't. We get 2 mics.
Yeah, okay. Well, you can come and keep a distance, or whatever. Anyway, social media shits me at the best of times. I take everything personally. If someone has a crack at me, I get really upset. Yeah. I'm not one of those people who likes to start social media fights. You know what's really shitting me about social media at the moment is you try to do something positive, or you try to put a nice, happy suggestion out there, and then people are like, ugh, won't work. There'll be no footy soon. So, mate,
Give it a chance.
Right now, there is no excuse to be a dickhead.
No,
just don't be mean to people.
No, everyone's in the same boat.
Everyone. People are losing their jobs, and other people are finding their misfortune a joy. And you think, just pull your head out of your ass for a second.
Yeah.
Everybody is affected.
I saw a lady post, I can't remember if it was a tweet or a Facebook post. She said she was in the line at Centrelink and a chick drove past and hung her head out the window and said, ha ha, sucked in.
Yeah, see, that's shit.
I hope she crushes.
Whoa.
Doesn't
Really took that next level.
No, that's ordinary though. Like that's average.
What, your comment?
No, yeah, well that was, but yeah. So rubbing it into a line of people.
Yeah, no,
at Centrelink trying to.
Yeah,
I didn't say I hope she dies. I just hope she crashes.
You're
her
working
car.
up a sweat doing all that backpedaling. Andy, can you yell out or do something? Or if I move, are you talking to the microphone? Andy and Liam here for Ozcast Network have given us the opportunity to do this podcast, and we are very grateful. Because the setup is absolutely incredible and they are doing brilliant things. And especially when so many businesses are working from home at the moment, podcast consumption would be continuing to rise to an all-time high because people are finding different ways to consume audio, especially because it's free. So this is where Ozcast Network come in. They've got a range of different podcasts that you can listen to, but a good way to promote your business to maximize its reach, especially now. Over to Andy Martin.
Thanks, Jared.
Don't breathe on each other.
Yeah, this is weird because we're sharing a mic now, which is illegal according to the federal government. So you literally said the right words there, Jared. Fantastic. Thank you for the support.
Thanks for your time.
So Ozcast Network, over 50 shows now, and we're literally coming out with new shows every week, not just standard content from everyone, but also brand new shows. So that's going really good. Referring back to your words on the business front regarding advertising and stuff, Podvertise is a perfect platform for that. We cover pretty much 98% of podcasts in Australia, whether they're made overseas. So you could be listening to one of your NBA podcasts, Jared, and hear an ad from Adelaide, for instance, or from Sydney or from Brisbane. So we can take care of all your needs regarding advertising. Then we have Pod Launcher. This is for people that don't know what to do when it comes to either the production side of podcasting or distributing it. Like, where do they put it? Well, we've got a platform for that. We've got production, we've got transcribing services and all that sort of good gear. So that's podlauncher.com.au. And then there's one coming out very shortly called podmusic.com.au, which is all your music needs. So basically what happens when you're a podcaster, which I'm sure that Maddie doesn't have to worry about because he makes his own music. But basically, you could be a podcaster and you want to source some music for your intro or for your podcast. There are so many rules and regulations around this, and record labels being dicks, and APRA really not knowing what's going on in the world apart from what's going on within Australia. Pod Music will be a place where you can go purchase a song, know that it's a worldwide license, and you can use it in your podcast and not have to worry about an Autobot picking up on it in 10 years' time and suing you. So podmusic.com.au is a place where podcasters can go, but also composers to send in the material that's not signed to a record label that they may have had sitting around for 10 years and make a bit of cash out of it as well. So it sort of helps everyone. And regarding the lockdown, if there was a Stage 2 at the moment. Stage 2 at the moment. I think stage 3 becomes a bit more of a complete and utter lockdown. When that happens, the studio bit, that won't be sort of based here in Adelaide, but in the city here, but we'll be able to roam around and go to people's places if we need to with a, what do you call it? Like a kit. a mobile situation, which is pretty much what you're using today because my business partner Liam has taken all the gear to work from home. So that's our situation here at the moment. But there is plenty of stuff happening in the world of podcasting. And as you said, a lot more people listening to podcasts because they have got nothing to do. So there you go, AuscastNetwork.com.
Thank you very much, Andy. Now, I want to leave you with this because this is a nice, fluffy way to finish this episode of the podcast.
I've got something to leave you with too after.
Oh, well, did you want to go first?
Well, I was just going to hit you up and see what... should we go into a nationwide lockdown?
Oh, geez, you're going real heavy, hey? Far
Real
out.
heavy.
I mean, we're wrapping things up with...
Real heavy.
You wait until you find out what I'm going to finish with. I'm glad you've gone with this early.
Because I've been seeing you post your favourite movies and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
So
If it gets this over quicker with, then lock us down. But I can also see that people are hating Scott Morrison at the moment. And I reckon he's doing okay because he looks like he's half asleep. And no one, I can guarantee, no one would be able to do a flawless job with what's going on right now. I have zero interest in politics. I need to preface that because that will probably annoy some people because they're like, oh, I love politics. It's my type of porn. Oh, piss off. So as long as the right decisions are being made for the country, I can see where people are frustrated by this back and forthing, like the hair salon thing's changed already. If it gets this done quicker and doesn't affect the economy as much, great. But if we go full lockdown, then the economy's going to be fucked.
Yes. I'm not going to get into a politics battle. All I was going to ask you was, what does a day look like for you?
Oh.
So yeah, look, this wasn't actually
What do
as
you mean,
heavy.
what does a day look like for me?
So with not having access to what you
I've
normally
really
do,
misread the question.
you did, didn't you? That's why you got to let people finish asking the question
Sorry,
before you.
Mate, you got to wait. We just wait till I see what I've got for you.
Okay, no, I'm keen for yours. But so with everything that you normally do in a day taken away, what does a day at home look like for you?
Is my kid at childcare?
No, because the world's in lockdown.
Okay.
Unless you send it there illegally, then yes.
All right. So yeah, I've got some stuff from the gym. I've suggested to hire some equipment. I said to Sean at Peak, I'm like, mate, you should actually hire out your equipment in lockdown. He said, oh, it's a good idea, bro. And then he'll do that. I won't get a cut of it.
A bit like the Fox Footy thing.
Exactly. I know. David, who works at Fox Footy, whatever his name is. Tim. So yeah, I want to keep at, and there's a chance that I won't be working for a couple of months. So I want to keep as regular as possible, not just with my bowel, but also get up, do a little bit of training. I've been working in the same job, in the same industry, and I know, Andy, you'd feel the same, for 16 years. I haven't had time to take a step back and go, what am I doing with my life? And I love what I do, but this is maybe the opportunity I'm looking for to go, all right, let's just have a look at and reassess what direction I'm going in, to do stuff around it at home. There was this weird woman sitting on my couch last night, and it turns out she's my wife. So, who are you? What are you doing here? I'm definitely going to commit. Commitment is massive for me, and it's really important that I focus on the important things. So I'm going to commit to PlayStation, and focus on NBA 2K.
Yep.
And just see what happens, mate. I think I'm a control freak, and this is out of my control. So it's really weird. I'm calm about it for some reason. I'm going to try and eat well, and just take it day by day. What about you?
Yeah, I'd probably go down a very similar path. I'd spend a lot of time on the PlayStation. I went and bought some gym equipment on Monday when they announced that you couldn't go to the gym. Yeah. So that was unbelievable. That was like the toilet paper section at Coles. I went to 4 different fitness warehouses and or the equivalent, and they were dry.
Yep.
People walking around with trolleys like it was unlike anything I'd ever seen in my life. So managed to get some equipment. So, yeah, I can see myself doing a lot of home workouts and all that sort of stuff. We actually have my wife, her best friend's living with us at the moment. She's building a house. So in the meantime, she's with us and their dog. So that probably gives me a bit of freedom because those two can hang out with each other and talk and watch reality TV and all that sort of stuff while I play PlayStation.
Do you have a microphone at home?
Yes.
Maybe I should get a microphone so we can do Ozcasting from home.
We could probably do that.
Yeah, but I need to get a microphone.
Get a microphone.
Okay, well, I'll wrap things up. Hey, all right, this is what I wanted to get to. Apologies, I got a bit fired up there for some reason.
Okay.
But, now I'm I
just wanted to know what you do at home, and you've gone on about Scott Morrison.
Now I'm going to tell you what I was going to say. So you know this guy who's being sent around. All right, so I've just shown a picture of old mate, the large Johnson, who, if you're part of a group chat,
You've seen it.
you've seen the guy sitting there with
An infant's limb hanging from his
he's
groin.
got a tree trunk there, and it's great because how people are doing this, Andy. I don't know if you've got these, but well, you've got one. But obviously, people are sending around messages going, "Click here for a coronavirus update," and you click here going, and then you go, "Oh fuck, it's him," and it's great. Like there's ones like this jigsaw puzzle one. Anyway, oh sorry, people are doing a jigsaw puzzle here. Anyway, bad news, guys. He died in 2016.
Yeah, I heard that.
So he's dead, right? And he's a porn star who went by the name Wood. And this is true. His family have set up a GoFundMe because they couldn't afford a tombstone. So they're trying to get a bit of cash now off people doing merchandise with his image on it.
Oh, my God.
So I'm going to donate because I've been getting lots of enjoyment. I'm so glad that we finished with that instead of a ScoMo. All right, everyone, take care of yourselves and your family. And
Box on. Yes, we will be. We'll be in touch through the socials and all that sort of stuff. We did an Instagram live earlier in the week, and we might do a couple more of those sporadically and just keep in touch with everyone.
Yeah, just keep in touch with everyone.
Do the right thing, stay inside, be safe, and look after your family.
Wash your hands. Andy can attest to this. I was a massive Glen 20 and hand sanitizer. I'm an OG Glen 20.
Yeah, you're not a bandwagon guy.
No, mate. We are OG when it comes to that.
I like it.
So if you need a hand sanitizer, I've got stocks at home. Like just a massive stockpile.
You've been hoarding it for
I've been
years.
hoarding it, mate. See ya.
Bye, mate.